everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cruising Israel. I'm your host, Natalie.
And I'm Max.
Max, we have a very fun schedule this week. I planned a lot of different activities, a restaurant, fun activities, and even a museum, which was what we're going to start with.
Okay.
It's here in the center of Tel Aviv. We passed by it many times. Okay.
Which one?
It's called Zev Jabotinsky.
Oh, it's right by my apartment. Never been in.
Yeah, I've never been inside either. I didn't know that it was a museum and an archive. Some of the things dating back almost a century.
Cool.
So let's go. His name is Zev Jabotinsky.
We all know him.
A lot of Israelis already are familiar with him. He's one of the founding fathers of Israel, we could say.
Cool. Let's check it out.
Throughout Israel, you'll find many museums and memorials which commemorate some historic figures whose work was critical in securing the Jewish state. Here we are in the center of Tel Aviv to check out a comprehensive archive and museum exploring the life of Zev Jabotinsky. A Zionist leader, a chief commander, and an influential writer, Zev Jabotinsky was one of the most significant figures in the history of Israel. He dedicated his life to work relentlessly in trying to create a Jewish state. Throughout his life, he founded Jewish militant groups, self-defense units, and underground organization. The House of Jabotinsky aims to promote his legacy and the organizations he created.
Jabotinsky is a combination of a dreamer, a man of vision, and a man of deeds. He didn't just declare about ideas, he also fulfilled them.
The Institute holds one of the biggest and oldest archives in Israel, with a collection of pictures, flags, articles, and correspondence from different significant points of his life, spanning from his birth in Odessa all the way up to his death in New York.
Let's see the Rasviet. Rasviet is a Russian paper that was published in Europe in the 20s and the 30s. Jabotinsky published his stories. He wrote letters against the British mandate because he resented the way that the British didn't fulfill the Balfour Declaration. He wrote articles about the Jewish regiment, the idea of a Jewish army that he fulfilled in 1917, and the idea was that the Jewish will help Britain to conquer Israel.
Beschloss England im Jahr 1917 hat uns gegeben die Balfour-Deklaration. Was hat die englische Regierung in jenem Moment gemeint mit dem Ausdruck Nationalheim? Hat sie bei ihm es gemeint, nur schaffen an einem Ghetto?
In his lifetime, Jabotinsky transitioned from the life of a writer to a fighter. And not just any fighter, but the founder of the Jewish Legion, the first Jewish fighting force in the modern era.
I exchanged the soft palm of a poet for the iron hand of a pioneer.
The Jewish Legion was the first step in liberation and was meant to help British efforts in seizing Israel from the Ottoman Empire.
Here you can see the march, the first march of the Jewish Legion in the streets of London. Here we can see Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson that is riding on his horse. And here we can see Lieutenant Jabotinsky, which got his rank of lieutenant just the night before.
The exhibition features not only personal artifacts of Jabotinsky, but a multimedia presentation, giving visitors greater insight to the life of this inspirational figure.
In April 1903, the terrible shock of the Kishinev pogrom led me to conclude that the Jewish people must establish its own state. I then joined the Zionist movement. Already then it became clear that the only thing that can save Jews from slaughter is self-defense.
Jabotinsky felt it was critical to educate and empower the next generation of Jews about nationalist ideals. So he established the Beitar movement, which spread all across Europe.
Here we can see flags of a Beitar movement that was founded in 1923. We have a collection of hundreds of flags from all over Europe and also from Israel.
The Beitar movement gained a very large following and was the childhood inspiration of several people who eventually went on to become significant politicians. In 1930, Jabotinsky was banned from entering the land of Israel, and moved to New York to build support within the United States for a Jewish army.
Jabotinsky died in New York in 1940, but his bones were buried in Israel just in 1964. Why? Because Ben-Gurion didn't allow to bring his bones to Israel. Just after Ben-Gurion resigned from the prime minister, as a prime minister in 1963, Levi Eshkol allowed to bring Israel the bones of Jabotinsky and his wife.
אדוני ראש בית"ר, אבינו, מורנו ורבנו, שבת לארץ אבותיך ובניך.
All right, so now that we got the history out of the way, now we can do something more modern and thrilling.
Okay.
Something fun.
Sounds exciting.
It's a very new activity. It's something that just opened up not long ago. It's just a 10-minute drive from Tel Aviv.
Well, spit it out already. What is it?
Well, it's actually a flight simulator. We can learn how to fly an F-16.
Wow, an F-16. You're going to fly an F-16?
I'm going to pretend like I'm going to fly an F-16.
Watch out, world. Natalie's in an F-16. Cool.
Right.
We're going to do that now?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
For decades, the F-16 has been at the forefront for keeping the skies above Israel safe. With Israel having some of the most highly trained combat pilots in the world, the Israeli Air Force has earned itself a lasting legacy. And today, these pilots want to share the Israeli Air Force experience by allowing visitors to get behind the controls and go hands-on with the latest in flight simulator technology. That's the closest I will ever be to flying a plane in my life. The squadron offers the most advanced flight simulators in the world, with the closest training and flight experience to the real thing. The controls constitute an exact replica of the cockpit of an F-16.
You can take the engine full forward. More, all the way forward.
This is Kobi Regev, a retired colonel who served 33 years in the Israeli Air Force as a fighter pilot. Having logged over 4,500 flights, Kobi has the knowledge, experience, and desire to pass it on to visitors from Israel and around the world, offering a chance for them to experience the thrill of flying a jet fighter.
I wanted to bring the best of the Israeli Air Force to everybody, to youth, companies, organizations, and to bring the organizational culture of the Israeli Air Force, the tool that we believe that makes the Israeli Air Force what it is.
The Israeli Air Force values such as teamwork and leadership are taught right here at the squadron's facility, making it a very unique experience unlike any other on Earth. Before we actually go ahead and fly an F-16, or at least pretend to, we're going to have to put on the proper attire, right?
Sure.
Now, this is the uniform that we're putting on. Does it resemble the same uniform that people in the Air Force actually wear?
Actually, this is exactly like the uniform in the Israeli Air Force. We have our own wings, we have our own patches, the squadron, English, Hebrew. We use the flag of Israel, we have rank. Shoes, and we are ready to go.
In the Israeli Air Force, every flight begins with a briefing, where an assessment of the mission takes place, and ends with a debriefing, a time where people can give constructive criticism and learn from others. This methodology is considered a highly effective learning tool.
We have in front of the F-16 a head-up display, which screens some data that is relevant for your flight. We have the velocity, the bar, the left bar, you will see it on the left side. Now it's written 429 knots, it's around 800 kilometers per hour.
The simulator not only features controls just like you'd find in an F-16, but pairs them with a large curved projection screen that gives you the sense that you're flying over Israel.
This will be your F-16s.
Wow. And this is an exact replica of how
Yes,
it looks
it is. The software is a Lockheed Martin software, everything works. If I put this switch to off position, the aircraft engine will be cut off. You can put your headphones on and I will connect with you in...
so I'll be able to hear you?
Yes, during the flight.
Okay.
You can take this one and put it on the side.
Yeah, it's pretty soundproof, these headphones.
Okay,
There's so many knobs and buttons.
Natalie, how are you doing?
Oh, hello. I hear you now.
Great. So let's do just a quick rehearsal. Put your hands on the throttle. Put the handle forward position all the way forward. This is the power of the engines.
With photorealistic graphics, you can fly above some of the country's most famous landmarks, such as the Dead Sea and Tel Aviv's Azrieli Towers.
Take the engine full forward. 250, we are airborne, and now we are doing
Oh no!
full roll. And now we'll go up and we'll do a loop, a full loop.
Whoa! We've been to countless restaurants around Tel Aviv. High-end restaurants, more simple restaurants.
Got to meet some famous chefs.
We got to meet some famous chefs. There's pretty much everything you need. But, you know, we could never run out of restaurants in Tel Aviv. So we're heading to one more called Restaurant Pastel.
Ooh, I've heard of that place. It's supposed to be really good.
Yep, and it's in the Tel Aviv Museum of Art.
Nice, let's check it out.
Tel Aviv has no shortage of exciting and unique high-end restaurants to choose from. And today's restaurant is no different. This is Restaurant Pastel. Situated in the famous Tel Aviv Museum of Art, Restaurant Pastel offers dishes which are not only tantalizing, but a form of artistic expression. The moment you walk in, you see art everywhere you turn, from its stylish designs to video art projections. It's even received the distinction of being listed among the world's most beautiful restaurants. But perhaps more importantly, this emphasis on aesthetics is reflected in the food.
ככה, קלמרי, ברוסקטה לשולחן 34 ביחד עם סשימי טונה, ברוסקטה וסשימי טונה לשולחן 32.
The restaurant was originally a brasserie, but under the leadership of Chef Hillel, it was transformed into a chef's restaurant. Hillel added his own influences to the menu, crafting his own dishes which became instant classics.
I started my journey before 20 years ago. I saw a lot of things that in the end of the day make me what I am today. I always work with the freshest product that I can get to the restaurant. I change my menu 2-3 times a year. All of these things together are the roots and the basic to what I do in here.
Coming from Iranian and Libyan descent, Chef Hillel has been strongly influenced by what he ate at home, such as including many herbs into the dishes or pairing meats with just the right mix of seasonings.
When I was a child in our table at home, there was always a plate with a lot of fresh herbs, radishes, parsley, coriander, tarragon, and basically you eat it to refresh your mouth. I took it and I put a lot of herbs and refreshing things on my food. This is a good example, okay, of taking something very traditional as a beef tartare and change it to the Mediterranean way. I have the beef tartare, but I match it with a vinaigrette of tomato, cherry tomato, and we burn the tomato a little bit to get this charred flavor. This is dry yogurt, when we made some kind of grease spirit.
The restaurant menu is very seasonal, and the ingredients used are based on what's available at any given time of the year.
Basically, this is smoked labane. You know what is labane?
The cheese that you see here.
Yeah, labane you make from yogurt. Okay. So I have like a roasted carrot. This is pickled carrot. This is pickled enoki mushroom. So we're talking about winter here.
One of the more traditional dishes that you'll find all over Israel is mesabecha, which is a dish of mashed chickpeas with tahini. But here at the restaurant, Chef Hillel made it with his own twist by recreating it with a different set of ingredients from top to bottom. Wow, I did not picture the mesabecha to look like that.
No, it's underneath. So it's basically a fresh calamari. The vinaigrette is the tomato vinaigrette, a little bit charred cherry tomato, and underneath is the masabecha of pava bean, Egyptian pava bean.
Wow, that's delicious. You can definitely taste the smoky flavor.
Natalie, that was fun. A lot of food. It's challenging to finish all those dishes, but I got another thing that might be a little bit more challenging for you. How would you like to be way up in the air on a rope in Jerusalem?
Up in the air on a rope in Jerusalem?
I think we can maybe put the GoPro on you and get some cool shots of you flailing through the air.
Like a ropes course?
Yeah, how about a ropes course? It'll be a little challenging, a little different from what we did this week, but I think people will enjoy watching.
Okay, I think it's been a while since we've done something like that, so let's do it. Jerusalem has been the site of legendary battles throughout the ages. Today we're here at Ammunition Hill to learn about the brave men who lost their lives in the liberation of Jerusalem. Here, visitors get to not only learn about the sacrifices of the brave Israeli paratroopers, but their own courage gets put to the test. Ammunition Hill is a place where one can learn all about one of the fiercest battles of Israeli history, all while challenging yourself by participating in an extreme ropes course. So wait, I have to climb this thing? Go over it?
No.
Oh my gosh, how scary!
Go.
The historic battlefield honors the brave soldiers who fought there to liberate Jerusalem. Wow, it's so cool. You could see a real bunker from the war in 1967. This is a site where a very historic and significant battle took place, right?
Yes, 50 years ago. Against the toughest warriors of the Jordanian front collided our paratroopers. They were all reservists. They were all civilians 2 weeks before. It's the carpenters, the grocery shop owners, the fathers, the proud fathers like my father was. He was 32, he was a carpenter. He was recruited 2 weeks before.
Alon was just a baby when his father got recruited into the army. Little did he know that was the very last time Alon's father would see him again.
Today's SMSs are the postcards they used to send. And he wrote to me a postcard. Alon Chick, I could not say anything, we have to go to war. Be a man and take care of your mother. And to my mother, he wrote in the same postcard, Meidele, be brave, we come back alive and victorious. We received this postcard 4 days after he died. So this was the last farewell for my father. He was died practically 56 meters from the place I'm working on a daily basis.
Oh my goodness. Today the place serves as a museum and shares the courageous stories to many groups that visit of one of the most important battles in Israeli history. How does the thrilling activities here, the ropes course and the zip lining, how does that connect to the history of the battle?
It's not only about death and sacrifice. It's not only about bravery. It's about other values. And then we decided to try to use the infrastructure in many creative ways. When they talk about bravery and camaraderie in the trenches, we're using zip line and we're using a rope course so that they will understand what we are talking about.
The exhilarating ropes course utilizes both your physical and mental abilities and is fun for pretty much any adventure.
So what we offer, it's ropes course. It's a mission that we give to group to do, and they work out together. And by itself, they do a little mission like climbing on the rock climbing. They do bungee swing. They do climbing on ladder, climbing on trees.
Wow. Yaakov, Israel's rock climbing champion, will be our guide for the day. You guys couldn't have picked a more perfect location for this. I mean, you could see all of Jerusalem, a 360-degree panoramic view of the old city.
And let's make it tight. We need to make it very small. Okay.
Okay.
So we're ready. Let's go. You just climb up and go down.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds easy. Whoa. I'm swinging. Wait, I can't do this.
You can do it,
I don't have muscles.
No, do it. Natalie, you're great. You do it great.
This is harder than, look.
Go up. Take your feet up. Great, you get to the top. Okay.
Whoa. Okay, that wasn't that bad.
Back to the ground.
Comedy. You know, when you first told me that I'm just gonna go up this ladder, I was like, okay, that's easy. What's the point of that? But it's not. All right, what's next?
Okay, the next is bungee swing. I put you on the rope and you hold the red rope, and when you let go, so you fly like this. It's very fun. Okay, take your head back. Two hands in the air, don't touch anything. Let it swing.
Oh my God! Whee! As a kid! The last mission I decided to participate in was the 80-meter zip line, which was a surreal experience considering you can see the old city from a bird's eye view. Hey! Coming! So bad. This place really offers a one-of-a-kind experience. I mean, when you're dangling off a high tower right up here and seeing the old city in front of you, I mean, there's nothing else like it. So thank you so much. We had an amazing, amazing time.
Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for another episode of Cruising Israel. We hope to see you here in Israel on your own adventure.
And don't forget to catch us next time as we cruise the country and show you the best Israel has to offer.
Bye.